Ooh, yeah.
And welcome everyone to our virtual co-working and write-in edit-in events. Today is our 5th write-in for Novel Quest, and we will be interviewing Kalen Williamson, but more on that in just a minute. I'm Coral Sands, author and one of your quest guides for today.
And I'm Ansley Ashe, author, and I'm a quest guide as well.
I love write-in events. Being a quest guide is a lot of fun. And I want to warn you that when we post prompts followed by short bursts of break time so we can really be productive. Think of this as a 1-hour marathon of working on your story.
We are live on YouTube, but feel free to watch the VOD so you can pause if you need more time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all the fun algorithm steps.
Just so you know, we do our November events. We have Sundays at 11 a.m. Central and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central, which is really exciting.
And Kalen is with us today. Isaac, Pufferfish Writing, will be with us on Wednesday this week. And it's time to introduce Kalen. Kalen Williamson collects Funko Pop villains and is a villain advocate. And as her good friend, I can tell you this is absolutely true. It's delicious. Not for the evil ones, just the great adult. She published Tumultuous 20s, an anthology about twists and turns of life in your 20s. She fire stories and catchers. When she isn't writing, she's teaching others how to write fiction. She also runs a newsletter that offers sneak peeks into her upcoming books. She'll be released in 2026. Author interviews and pop culture commentary. Sign up at Kalen Williamson. Kalen, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Okay, so we'll start off with some of the things that we taught you all of our at Tumultuous 20s. Okay. So our Tumultuous 20s is out now. So tell us a little bit about what inspired Tumultuous 20s, and then we can have an argument as to which is the best story in there, since maybe I have read them all.
So Tumultuous 20s, I actually wrote a while ago. It was my very first ebook collection, but I recently did the print book, my first ever print book. Super excited. And it's about the twists and turns of your 20s. I wrote it in my 20s. And so it's all the feelings I had, which were tumultuous and dramatic. And, you know, as you go through that stage in your life, especially I wrote it in my mid-20s. It was mostly about my early 20s. And so, yeah, each one had a different emotion that inspired it. I was talking to someone about how even the worlds within each story reflected some of the emotions, from anxiety to romance, depending on which story you were in. And the collection has like really dark stories and really light stories. So it is a journey where you're like, okay, all these different emotions in one cute little book that I love. So yeah, that is what it is about. So there's like a romance, literary, kind of like, I don't know what you would call memories, but the collection itself is under general fiction. So yeah, just a large selection within the book. I think 9 different stories.
Okay, and what's your favorite story?
I really like Surprise with Annabelle and Benno. I think they're cute. It's the adorable romance in there, and I love them. And their banter and their cuteness. They're the most adorable couple I think I ever wrote to date. A short story.
Yeah, they definitely needed their own novella. I thought they were just so much fun. So I think, I don't know if it got retitled, but I think the one that I read, it was called Monster. Maze is the one. Maze is my favorite.
Oh, okay. Yes, with the monsters. And that world did reflect all the darkness too.
And I think it reflected a little bit about like how hard it is to be in Disney, know what's going on, so you don't really know what's coming at you, and like how easy it is to be, I think, twisted up and confused, and you know, holding on to what you think you know, but you maybe don't actually know it. So I thought Maze was an excellent book. Okay. On Campfire Stories, was there anybody maybe here who was in Campfire Stories with you? She asks as if she doesn't know. I wasn't the lead on that.
Oh my goodness, yes. Campfire Stories with Ghost Boy and the disappearances. What was her name now? It's been a second since we did Campfire Stories.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. So that will be out. I'm going to use the word soon. we have one small technical issue that needs to be resolved, and as soon as the technical issue is resolved, that thing's going to press. So stay tuned, as I was the lead on that project. So everybody who's with Writing Quest could do that. I will say the disappearances is so deliciously fun. It is definitely you in your horror story best, although in its own way, it's very, very sweet for a ghost story. It is charming. Who would you say, what vibe inspired you the most to write?
What was the question? Sorry, you broke up a little bit.
Sorry, what vibe or who inspires you the most?
In my writing in general? I think you know the answer. Like, I would have to say I was always really inspired by Tim Burton. By Tim Burton. And I say that he's largely a director, but he did write. So he wrote The Nightmare Before Christmas as a poem. He has a book of poems, and just his vibe and aesthetic in general, which is so cute and so creepy. I think I'm a little creepier than him. I go a little darker in my horror than he does. He's more appropriate for children, and I do not think all my stories are appropriate for children. Especially, Mildly Horrible Tales is coming up, going to be released in 2026, and some unfortunate things happen to the children in the Hansel and Gretel retelling. So I'm definitely darker in, compared to Tim Burton, but definitely always been an inspiration in that it's still light. It doesn't ever go American Horror Story dark or Stephen King dark there. Even though I clearly like Wild Girls, like Harry for Stephen King, but for me, Chloe and Marnie, and even some crazy guys in there too, for some of them. And in Tumultuous 20s, Michael was pretty crazy, but I can't give too much away.
You have to buy it. You really should buy it. These stories are so much fun. Okay, so Kalen, how old were you when you first started writing?
So I think the first story I remember loving was in 6th grade. It was a homework assignment for English class, and it was writing about a haunted house. So definitely still on brand by accident. I didn't start taking it seriously until 2011. So all throughout the years I wrote here and there, 8th grade, high school, college, somewhere there's a notebook of stuff from the early days. But it wasn't until 2011 and Tumultuous 20s was on the rise, and then I officially wrote it in 2014. And that is when I started studying the craft part of it and not just doodling my words for fun. It was like words and doodles back in high school.
Now, you have spent a lot of time studying the craft of writing. How did your studies lead you to want to turn around and teach that to others?
It was a struggle. I think, as you know, we're in Writing Quest and everything. You have the goals. Some people do 50,000. I was going to do 25,000. I always struggled with getting 50,000 words in a month. Couldn't do it. Not working, not helping. I had to study craft to, even though people complimented my writing, to get to a more professional level. And everything was a struggle. So I like to teach because I like to take everything I learned and then process it through the ways that really helped my brain the most. So, I taught brainstorming bingo because it can be hard doing campfire stories. It took a couple of months to come up with my 2 stories. I think you told me about it in June. It took till August, but I found these little ways to make it faster and more fun and more efficient and easier on my brain, and used organized chaos to write Finding Brody, that was a mystery novella, in 10 weeks. So that was a huge feat for me, who usually is a very slow writer, if not the slowest writer in our cohort.
Yeah, so I did know that you struggled with that. And what is it that people, if they were learning the craft, why should they listen to your advice? So you talked about you wanted to teach it because of your specific troubles. But what is it that you bring to the table that maybe some other people don't? And if you can't think of something, I definitely can.
I would say I'm interested in your answer because, of course, I'm always curious, but I would say I like to make it a lot of fun. I want it to be fun and I want it to be accessible and kind of down to earth for the student so they can actually use it and be practical. I went to college. I felt that was a lot of theory. I want my classes to have my students writing and working now, not just like the theory of writing, but actually writing in the most fun way possible.
So Kaylin is really good at fun. Um, like there are some people for fun. Fun is a skill set, and Kaylin has fun as a skill set inside her classes. Brainstorming, bingo, and the way she teaches you to do this, and the things that she teaches you to do, and the way she teaches you to think about storycraft. She has taken all of the theory that all of us, sit around, and there are some great books and resources out there on theory, right? She takes that and she really makes it a lot of fun. So like if you're like, oh my gosh, I think I know what to do, but I want my stories to be more fun. And I think as a genre writer myself, like I think fun is like the name of the game, right? Like I don't understand why you're picking up a mystery if it's not going to be fun. I don't understand why you're picking up a romance if it's not going to be fun. I don't understand why you're picking up a fantasy book if it's not going to be fun. I do think horror is a little bit different, although yours are a lot of fun. Um, I think horror kind of splits into two sections. Those people who do it's very hard to do horror in a fun way without making it campy, and yet you manage to do that. Um, but I think most people pick up horror because what they want to feel they're bored with their own lives, like, and they're really satisfied with their life. So they're like, yeah, this accounting job, it's going really well. My savings work really great. And then they pick up a horror story and they're like, get all the scares that you need and all that adrenaline and that excitement, because real life is boring. And then they go back to boring real life, and are satisfied with boring real life and pick up that story again and again. So I think horror kind of like skirts that, which is why both Tim Burton and the fun part of it and Stephen King, why there's space for both of them inside of horror, because they're very, I think, separate ends of that. So, and I think you do a good job of like being like dead center in the middle of that, right? Stephen King all the way over here. Like, what is scary and how can I scare you? And he's very deep into the like psychology of being scared. So, what are the things that people are scared of? Why are they scared of them? And then he takes that and he hits that in his stories and his theory. And Tim Burton is like, there are creepy things in the world, and sometimes it's our overactive imaginations, and how can we make that fun and accessible for little kids, maybe not little kids, but for kids who want to be, in like maybe preteens who want to be like a little bit scared, but not like completely scared, like that creepy. So like somewhere dead
Oh
set
my
in the
goodness.
middle.
I would say even little kids. I loved Tim Burton since I was 3. I was like, which now looking back, I was 3 years old watching Beetlejuice, and I'm like, I don't know if that was totally appropriate. And not even one time. That was my movie. That was my jam that I tormented my father with. Like, rewind again, again. We gotta watch it every single weekend 9 times. Or did we really even watch it at all?
Yeah.
Um,
No,
so
but Beetlejuice is
definitely. And I
such a great movie. There's only a couple places in there where the effects don't hold up all these years later, but like story wise, it's a really great movie. So it's got a good story to it. Okay, so time to ask you the most divisive question we ask people on Writing Quest. What is your favorite writing snack?
my favorite reading snack. Oh, does it have to be like food or a drink? Because if it's related to writing, it's tea. That's pretty consistent. I like to be cozy with some tea. I am not on team coffee. I am on team tea. The only coffee that's acceptable is coffee milk.
Okay, so for those of you who follow me on other social media, you will know that I drink more tea than I do coffee, but it is a close call. I am almost 50-50 down the middle with tea, though controversially, especially for the millennials and the Zs in our audience, I think iced coffee is an abomination. So Just going to throw a soft
It's the only
elbow
one
in.
that would be honestly tolerable, but coffee milk always for the win. It's my hometown state drink. So for the win. And then iced coffee is second place behind the coffee milk because it's the only thing that makes it tolerable. Like you need the ice and the sugar and the cream for that nasty bean that you're obsessed with to be palatable. Unlike the gorgeous tea leaf, which just needs just a little bit of milk and sugar. Unless you get a different tea that doesn't need it at all. You see, you have options. That coffee bean, there are no options. You need all the sugar and cream and milk that ever existed to be in there.
No, the tea blend's way better. Like I'm gonna like completely be straight up with you. Like this is why it's tea for the win because you can get a strong tea or a weak tea. You can get a tea that's blended. You can pick up the notes that what the tea is blended with far more easily. The tea is like mild. You can drink it with sugar or without sugar, or with honey or without
Yeah.
honey. You know, with milk or without milk. Like you have options when it comes to tea. You can have it for breakfast, which is like a really good breakfast tea is a good thing. Or you can have a non-caffeinated, what we should call it tisane, what we call a tea in America with the fruity, like the herbals, like like I prefer raspberry and peach and blackberry, which Kaylin dislikes, but we call it that. And put your hands around that hot mug and like have it in there. Or you can have it since I grew up in the South, iced tea with like your sugar in there and a glass
Iced
with the
tea.
yeah.
Right. See, I'm more like English breakfast, oolong. I think, what is it? Like is it called Bengal tea or something that I had for a while? Um, so like, more of those notes, cinnamony or dark or something. Fruit, I don't know. That's like hot juice. I don't know.
It's really not, but that's okay. This is what we do. Is Kaylin and I argue about about tea blends all day, which is why we're friends.
Peppermint is decent.
I will give you a good peppermint tea. It's a lot of fun. Okay. What is your favorite place to write? Where do you prefer to write?
I prefer to write in my room, cozied up, like probably sprinting with some other writers so I don't get too distracted. I should really be TV off too. Sometimes I don't, I'm bad, but it should be TV off in my room.
Well, I watch with the T. I write with the TV on, but it more marks the time than anything. So, um, I think I think background noise sometimes because we get a lot of writers who say cafe, and a cafe has like a certain amount of background noise. I feel like the TV kind of simulates that if you at home. Coral, were there any
If
questions in the chat?
No,
No?
there's no questions in the chat, but I've been keeping an eye on it. So, yeah.
Okay, so now very important. We talked a little bit about your teaching. So is there something coming up very soon coming out if people were say interested in having you teach them?
Yes, there are actually two things to note that are going to be relevant for the next couple of weeks. So Organized Chaos, Mindset Reset, Writing Guide and Workshop has a special introductory offer price of $35 until the end of this week, at least till Friday, I believe. So that is good to note for the calendars because it includes a one-on-one session with me, the writing PDF, and I will be using it myself as the creator for the rest of this month to get more words down. And that's the point of the guide, to help you write, organize your ideas, flesh out, plot everything. And it's good for fiction and nonfiction. And then the second thing is the Christmas party. Kaylin's Christmas party is December 5th. It is free to attend. There's going to be writing time, prompts, giveaways. It will be a lot of fun. It's 2 hours, December 5th. It's 11 Eastern, which is what, 10 Central Time, if that's where your audience is, till noon.
Sounds like so much fun. We can't wait to. So thank you so much for being here with us today, Kaylin. We're gonna move on to the writing portion here in just a second, but yeah, thank you for being with us. And I would like to remind everybody, give Kalen a try. Definitely you want to swing by and get the organized chaos if you're having problems organizing your thoughts. If they come in all at once, all those plot bunnies come in and you don't know what to do with them, organize the chaos is definitely a really good system for that. But also, if you're unsure, the party is free. So, like, show up for the party, see how much fun Kaylin can be. It's hard to describe how much fun she is when she does this. So she's a really personality, and you really kind of do. Dr. H was talking to us just this past week about having good mentors and being in the right vibe. If fun is your vibe, if fun is the thing you want, Kaylin is your girl. And I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for being part of Writing Quest.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay, time to move on. As longtime viewers know, Coral writes all the prompts, and I find out about them live when you do. Coral, what do we have up today?
Our first prompt is going to be a 5-minute prompt, and our inspiration word of the day is doughty, used to describe someone who is brave, strong, and determined. So it should be 5.
Doughty rhymes with naughty too.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and put 5 minutes on the clock, and let's get started on doughty. All right, that ding means it is time for a break. How did everybody do? How many words did you get? Put it into the chat so we can see.
We're so excited when people put it in the chat. I got, once I got going, I got 130. I didn't think I'd done quite that good. That was a great word.
My tools must be not working. Oh, that's much better. Okay. I was like looking at it, and I was like 697. I was looking at the characters and not the words. Okay. 134. I was like, that can't be right. Okay. 134. I know, right?
Oh my gosh, we got almost exactly the same. I got 130, you got 134. Yes!
I love it.
That is the success of this word, right? I feel like that is fully the success of this word. Fully inspired.
Yes, absolutely. I was trying to figure out what to do, but definitely the main character's love interest is very Doughty. He is someone who goes out and makes sure that people are safe, and so they just found out that there was a rock slide and the roads are closed off, so he's gonna go out and check on it and stuff like that. So he's a very brave person.
I do love him. He's so adorable. He is a little scary, so yeah, I get that. Alrighty. Well, as we all know, I'm writing a political thriller. We have reached the point in the political campaign where we have headquarters. Every once in a while, some rando person walks in off the street. In this case, I had 2 teenagers walk in to volunteer for this campaign, and one of them is practicing her SAT word. Doughty is her SAT word, and Valeria corrects the pronunciation, but she's like, yes, I think Doughty, brave women, should be leading this country. This is why this particular teen girl with purple streaks in her hair has volunteered for this campaign. And it occurs to me, I have not named so many characters. Come December 1st, I'm going to be sitting here going back through every XXX and she, whatever. We're just going to have to do a global search. Where did we forget to name characters? Yeah, so many characters.
Yes.
Rolling with it now. It's November. We gotta go. We didn't think this through.
That's right. Yep.
All right.
Just put a thing in there, whatever the thing is, TK. I think some people put TK in there, or I'll just put blank in parentheses. I'm just like blank. It's just blank.
So sometimes I put TBNL, to be named later. TBNL is just in there, but more frequently these days it's XXX because it's just so easy to search that. So yeah. All right. Nice. What is our next prompt? Let's move on.
All right. So we're gonna have 10 minutes on the clock, and our next prompt: pop, bang, sizzle. A sound interrupts the scene.
Oh my gosh! Were you watching Chicago the musical Chicago when you did this? Because that is such a vibe.
No, but hilarious. I was in a chat just the other day and they brought up Chicago randomly as well. And so I was like, squish. And then somebody else came back, Lipschitz.
Yeah, I know. Like, you're bringing that up, and like I can just hear the lyrics. You know, they had it coming, they had it coming, they had it coming, themselves to blame.
That's
Love
right.
That song. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Absolutely,
song.
Me too.
Every time something bad happens to an evil character, I sing that song inside my head. Just so you know.
I love it. It's such a great song.
It is such a great song.
So now I gotta
What
figure
about
out what
you?
sound is going to interrupt. Is going to interrupt the scene.
I know, something with a little bit of onomatopoeia too. So
Yes.
yeah.
One of my favorite words because that just rolls off the tongue.
But it is hard to spell.
It is. All right, let's do this, y'all. right, that sounds means it's time for another break. How did everybody do? How many words did you get?
Put it in the chat below. We love seeing those.
Please.
So like, yay. Yeah, please. We just enjoy that. I got 402. The words are apparently flying off my fingers today. So I'll be caught up. I'll be caught up in no time at this rate, right?
Nice. I got 270 words. Really happy with that. Ended up having a surprise rogue attack. So it's quite exciting.
So I took a moment to take a pause, and this kind of is also, well, I won't say what's a foreshadowing of, but it's a foreshadowing event. But a pigeon flew into a window and butted pretty hard, and everybody's like pretty upset, and like the poor pigeon. But I am a kind writer, so the pigeon lives. He's just got a concussion. He's flying drunkenly away. Poor pigeon. So like we feel bad for him. And because we are also a kind, I'm a kind writer, one of our volunteers is going to look into what it would take to change the window so that the pigeons are less likely to fly into the window. So we are going to definitely work on this in world. But yes, the thud, I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah.
Love that. Yeah, I went with a pop. I'm not really sure what the pop is, but I definitely went with pop. I was thinking maybe like the tire was popped and stuff like that, but it could be something else, maybe the tire pinched a rock or whatever and made a noise, but they swerved, and when they stopped, then they were attacked by a bunch of rogues, and so it's quite exciting.
Oh my gosh, the drama. You're a regular soap opera girl. Like, yeah, this is so much fun. This is like shifter soap opera with Coral Sands, I love it. So much fun. All right, so that was really such a fun prompt. Okay, what are we doing next?
Okay, so this next prompt I'm actually really excited about because I try to include a detail like this in every single one of my stories. And so prompt 3, again, it's another 10-minute prompt, and we are going to describe a detail zoomed in. So like one of my favorite details was like, in one of my stories was like, oh, there's a fuzz on my, tights, and that was much more interesting than the conversation that was happening in the thing. So, like that small little fuzzle was like, oh no, we got to pick the puzzle. And that was like so much more important than the fact that they're sitting there, awkward, having an awkward conversation and stuff like that. So a detail like that, zoom in on a detail that seemingly is insignificant, but it should tell us where the mind frame of the person is at.
I love this because how many times is that something that happens in real life, and I don't see it represented nearly enough in fiction, where you come in and like you're doing something, you're receiving this information. Sometimes it's really important information, right? But that thing with like that piece of fuzz, for example, that you have on you can't shake it, you can't get rid of it. And it's like, oh my gosh. And you miss something that's important. This is like such a great way for your character to miss something that's important because their mind is somewhere else, which I feel like is something that happens to all of us. And I just love reflecting these real life type of moments in our fiction. So like, this is so great. I would never have thought to do this all on my own, Coral. So like, yay! I love this prompt.
I love this prompt too. I'm really excited to get started on it. So everybody describe a detail super zoomed in, and it's going to be really interesting to see what everybody comes up with. All right, let's do it. All right, that ding means it is time for yet another break. How did everybody do? Put your word count in the chat.
Excuse me, I got 380 that time. How about you?
Nice job. I got 245. Very happy with that.
So in my world, the same scandal is hitting both campaigns at the same time. So it's one scandal, but it hits both campaigns simultaneously, right? And so I'm using that as a foil to show how one campaign is dealing with it, and they're dealing with it in a healthy way, and the other campaign is not. So this is an excellent place to take that tiny little detail and show how people are obsessed with, and it's a mustard stain on a black jacket, right? Nice. So we're obsessed with getting this mustard stain out because we don't have an answer to our scandal problem. Meanwhile, the other side is like, oh, we'll just, tell as much of the truth as we can and say, like, this was something that happened 15 years ago, move along, and just tell the truth. So I just wanted to show how this could be different. So like, this was a great prompt. I was like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Oh, I didn't know exactly. Knew exactly who was going to have this problem and exactly where it was going to be. I just needed to think of something that she could fixate on instead of.
I love it.
Instead of it.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to have happen. So awesome. Very, very cool. My character, because they were in a, the rogues are fighting outside the truck, and they are just so scared and frozen in shock and stuff like that. They ended up having the wherewithal to be able to like slide into that space between the dash and the floorboards and stuff like that. And they notice a dust mote floating down to the seat. And that's much more interesting than the growls and barks and everything else that's going on just outside the door. So that is what I ended up going with.
If you're hyper-focused on that, you're staying absolutely still and away from the fight. So it's a productive way to ignore all the stuff that's going on. I love this. This is an amazing thing to have happen. I'm, of course, still dying to read your book. So, like, yay. So, there we go.
Thank you. Yeah. And the thing about it is when the fight is over, instead of just popping up like, oh, okay, everything's fine, they're stuck in, scared mode and just shivering and unable to like break out of that mindset and stuff like that. So the love interest has to like go over to their side, pull them gently out of the space, get them to concentrate on something else, and, just really to help them get past their fears.
I think that's amazing. I also think, and now I lost my train of thought, so never mind. I guess, it wasn't important. Oh my gosh.
I guess we'll just move on to prompt 4. Someone has a slip of the tongue. I think that this would be a fun and exciting prompt, especially for yours. I think this is going to be a really good one for you.
When somebody, so there's a saying in there that in politics, a faux pas is when you accidentally say what you really think instead of what you were supposed to be messaging. So, how many scandals have been caused by that?
Right.
I think quite a few. It's like, oops, you weren't supposed to know I really believe that. Politics is a weird business to be in. So, yes, tons of ways that could go deliciously wrong.
Absolutely, yes. That's what we want to see. I think that this is exciting. I definitely am trying to figure out what the slip of the tongue is going to be for mine, but I think I have an idea.
Good deal.
Okay.
Very good.
Everybody take a deep breath. Maybe drink some water if you want. Yeah. There
Stretch
you go.
your fingers.
Yeah. Stretch your fingers. All right. Let's do this. 10 minutes. Let's go. All right, that ding means it's time for another break. How did you do? Put your word count in the chat. I got 248 words. How did you do, Ansley?
About 350 that time.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so again, we're following one team stays on message, tells the truth. One team can't pull their act together. And in this case, he's in a podcast interview and he can't stop using the word staff and calling his opponent pretty and compliant, which is exactly the allegation that is made against him.
Oh no.
The number of times he's referred
hilarious.
to that to the word staff is just hilarious. I was like, how many times can I jam this in here? Because he can't stop saying that word. Because I find it hilarious.
That is hilarious. I am a huge fan of that. That is hilarious. I did not get to my slip of the tongue. I was just about to make it, but instead I just did an aftermath of the scene, kind of them reacting to what just happened, and it was a really good, sweet scene, and so it was kind of what was needed, anyways. But
when you put this,
yeah.
But when you put this into your master doc, you can always round out the scene, which is what I do with a lot of these scenes. So yeah, it's very, very good. Amazing.
So yeah, we'll definitely be able to do it. We'll be able to put in a slip of the tongue, and it's right there. It's right there.
So amazing. All right. Well, okay. So we do some stretches with our fingers. I was going to show the people this, right? So like do yours like this. I'm a little bit double jointed, so I have to be careful like how far I stretch forward and stretch my hands out and stretch my fingers and make sure like we spread them all out and stretch them. That way I can reach to like every part. I used to play, did you play piano? I know you played other instruments. Did you play piano growing up?
No, we did learn keyboard, but yeah.
So I think about
No
stretching
fancy
to like,
pianos.
but so like I find that so much of like learning to type was very familiar from my piano days. It's just an extra well, a couple extra rows of keys, but you know, it's like very familiar, you know, and like so like your thumbs go in a certain place, and I want to make sure that my pinkies can stretch and that my fingers stretch, and I don't see the letters on my keyboard. I see it. This is so young when I learned piano, like well before I learned how to type, right? So sometimes inside my mind's eye, as I'm typing, I am seeing a piano keyboard there as well. So I want to make sure my fingers are really all stretched out and my shoulders are relaxed and my neck, because it's like, I want to make sure like I'm loose enough, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. When I played cello, I had to, because I had such small hands, and I was in like 4th grade, and I was trying to like get all of my fingers on like for the so yeah, had to do stretches for it and everything. Yeah. Okay. So
my
we are.
I am familiar.
Yeah. All right. Prop 5. The thing your
character comes true. Well,
Okay.
nothing happened for one of my characters. I got to figure somebody else out now too.
Yeah, and it's a quick 5-minute prompt, so we're going to try to see if we can get as many words done as possible, because this is our last sprint, and so it's do or die. Let's get in as many words as we can.
So much fun. What do you know? What the thing your character fears the most?
It actually just happened, you know, rogues attacking. That is the one thing that my character fears. So maybe I should do for the love interest. Maybe that's something that I need to do.
So, like you, Valeria's biggest fear is that the scandal that is rocking her campaign right now is that would become public, because this is something that she's been deeply ashamed of, and she's kept secret a really long time, and she. You know, but she feels like now that it's out in the public, she can be who she really is now. So now I got to think of like, what is somebody else's worst fear, and how does that relate to that?
Yes. All right, so let's dive in, see what we can do for 5 minutes. All right, that ding means it is time for, well, it means time is up. Time to get our word counts. How did everybody do? Put it into the chat. How many words did you get?
I'm ecstatic. I got 197.
That's amazing. Great job.
I know.
I got 144, so I'm very happy with that. All
And
right.
I went with the thing that my character's biggest fear was losing everything, and I think kind of he has, and he's reflecting on it. So, well done. A lot in the other camp.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Now we got to claw our way back. All right. We'll be back next week, won't we? Or we'll be back on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, so fantastic, everyone. Fantastic work, everyone. During our next event, we'll be streaming Wednesday, November 19th at 6 p.m. at Writing Quest YouTube.
We will have special guest author Isaac from Pufferfish Writing, whom we are so excited to interview. A huge thank you to Kalen Williamson for taking the time to speak with us today. It was an absolute pleasure. I hope you enjoyed giggling with her as much as I enjoy giggling with her every day of the week. Check out their links in the description below.
Our ending quote for November challenge: remember, even if you don't make your goals, you're attempting a huge challenge. It's not easy, or else everyone would be doing it. We believe in you. If you want to keep in touch, join our Facebook group, Writing Quests.
And before we go, we have to give out a huge thank you to our amazing producer, David McInnes. We could not do any of this without him. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and in the description, you'll find links to all of our social media. If you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.